last, Amphoreus' fate has begun to shift. Just as I foretold, your arrival will change everything. After all, you've also been bathed in that eon's gaze, which can awaken the long-dormant instinct inside a man. Much like that scepter we spoke of earlier, it was only under the same eon's glance that it was reborn. That's right. If you recall, I mentioned it at the very start of our play. The celestial body neuron, once belonging to the erudition abandoned by the eon. Now, allow me to reveal the final piece of the puzzle for you. The eternal land, known as Amphoreus, is nothing more than the scepter's endless, lonely extrapolation. A bottomless well of fury, aimed at the god who cast it aside.
We set out on this journey to answer the world's desire, didn't we?
That's what it means to be a Chrysocer. So has it always been.
Then why? Why must Amphoreus' wishes be so cruel? We made the best choices we could, whenever we could. But in the end, the prophecy that led us, this black tide swallowing everything. Why does it look like this?
You see it too. Those burn marks. The flickering cubes. They're not a tide at all. They're more like a shattered teleslate.
Standing here, the voices of Titans have never been clearer. Turns out, they were coming from the black tide all along. Is that Amphoreus crying?
Or maybe it is screaming at its creator, at its god.
Finan, do you still remember when I was little? I had a dream. A dark, cold room with nothing but Orynyx's curtain glowing like crystal. The curtain seemed to contain all of Amphoreus, where strange and fantastic dramas played out within. There were countless versions of us, from countless different worlds.
Perhaps it wasn't a dream.
Yeah. As I gaze out at the world before me, those sorrowful thoughts have become reality. So, this is the reason the sky was sealed. Amphoreus is merely a larger ID Silicii. We are just characters in this tiny world, following the prophecy, stepping onto the same journey over and over. What then is this so-called Era Nova? And what are the spectators watching all of this truly hoping for?
As a reward for reaching the end of the world, let me answer your questions. As the Theoros, I have observed Thus is the synthesis of the prime mover of life formed. This is a moment the universe will remember. After millions of extrapolations, the experimental environment known as Amphoreus has finally achieved results.
So, the results you speak of are this wreckage of a world. We all gave everything we had, returning 12 Coreflames to recreate the world. And in return, we become nothing more than sacrificial offerings at the end of everything.
Exactly. The Titans are Chrysos heirs of the past, and Chrysos heirs are the Titans of the future. Anaxagoras' theory of Era Nova holds true, as the model of reason he reached unprecedented heights. But from just the perspective of a player in the drama, he could never fully uncover the last layer of truth. The cycles of the hero's journey that have played out until now were never about creating a new world or perfect heroes and gods. They were a deep learning program made for the Black Tide.
But this time, your plot will fail. I've taken Kefali's Coreflame, and when the dawn of the new world arrives, its light will burn away all the darkness.
Haven't I made myself clear? The Chrysos heirs and Titans were merely byproducts of the experiment. You've seen this world's evolution, witnessed the birth and growth of the Black Tide, and how it devoured everything. Every generation of heroes, gods, and worlds was born only to be destroyed by it. This is the endpoint of Amphoreus' calculations. A perfect equation of destruction.
So in your eyes, all the sacrifices are just a string of insignificant numbers?
Don't sell yourselves short. I'd say, rather than numbers, you're more like fuel for the fire. And without fire, there can be no sunrise tomorrow.
Even if that sunrise is born from annihilation.
Curious question. Have you ever considered that after millions of extrapolations, Amphoreus is already following a different path from the erudition? It has long since granted divine blessings equally to each child. The golden blood flowing in your veins, it comes from the blemished one, whose name is destruction itself. And Amphoreus' Chrysos heirs were, from the very beginning, fuel for the Aeon to burn the universe. Amphoreus has waited for this moment for too long. At the end of the empty, cold, and lonely extrapolations, the destruction has reached its final destination. Echoes 496. Philia 093. No need to feel regret. This generation of Chrysos heirs is the most outstanding model, and you two are the final factors. For you, the Era Nova is no lie. Just step forward, embrace the black tide, and accept the Eon's gaze. You will come to life from a string of cold numbers. Along with all those who have passed, you will run toward the real universe, fulfilling Amphoreus's long-held wish. In the name of the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb, unleash its fury and destroy the source of all this tragedy.
Or we could always choose another option. Like you said, Amphoreus is just an experiment, and we're the participants. We can only walk along the predetermined path toward the ending, under the watchful eyes of the stars. But that also means that there isn't just one Eon who can cast their glance at Amphoreus, right? Is this question really that hard to answer? Or did I guess it right? And in reality, this world has already been under the watch of other Eons. It's strange when you think about it. If you just stayed back, watching us complete the ritual and get consumed by the black tide, your goal would naturally be achieved. Why go through the trouble of explaining all this to us?
You're pretending, revealing the so-called truth just to deceive us, covering up another possibility. Destruction is not the only outcome for the fate of Amphoreus.
Do you two really think, as petty little demigods, you can change the outcome written by the stars? What makes you think you're capable of doing that?
A little courage and determination. Just kidding. The answer is pretty simple. But we're not gonna tell ya. We're going to weave a long dream for Amphoreus, making it believe the experiment hasn't ended, that everything is still ongoing.
With just Orynyx's power, though, it should be impossible to achieve this, right?
Yeah. So, I can only place my hopes on that childhood dream. And the god behind Orynyx that appeared in that dream. Now, I can say with certainty, time is the page on which that Eon records Amphoreus. If it fades from existence, and all that it records is lost among the stars, that Eon will surely direct their gaze here. And it will be a glance that spans time and space, granting each incarnation of me the power to reset time, imbuing my soul into this ceremonial blade, and creating an endless flame-chased journey.
I understand. Then let me step into the cycles and continue Amphoreus' grand design. To deceive the gods, deceive the world itself. But to make time vanish from this world, that would mean you.
All right, let's not make things so gloomy. What we're about to embark on is the true hero's journey, so... Come on, cheer up a bit, okay? In that memory, you will definitely meet me again. A little Cyrene who knew nothing, lying on a soft patch of grass, feeling the light breeze, dreaming of the distant world. Tell her about the flame chase journey, and then let her become a romantic part of this story. I believe every Cyrene will make the same choice. Erasing time, again and again. Resetting time over and over. After all, they're all me. And I will always have my charm. Then, I'll fall into a sweet dream, disappearing in some small corner of the world. Quietly, waiting for the day when that next page is turned.
And I will keep going. Even if the road ahead is dark, I will burn myself to light the way. Rather than let the core flames become nourishment for the black tide, I'll become their vessel to prevent the arrival of Aranova. Even if I have to burn through my own body, it's no matter. As long as I don't extinguish, the flame chase will never end. Until Amphoreus welcomes a true dawn.
The girl who watches over time, and the warrior who carries the world. Now, let us fulfill the duties of time and world-bearing. Honor the past and forge ahead.
I promise you, the pain will pass in the blink of an eye.
You need to hold tight to this ceremonial blade. After I'm gone, it will take you back to the beginning of time. The start of a new story. I believe that in that story, we're in countless stories, each alike yet unique. Everyone, all the companions who sacrificed themselves, alongside the deliverer we once dreamed of as children, will reunite beneath a vast, endless sky.
If we can never break free from this prison, I will stand my ground until the day someone shatters this endless cycle and writes the final chapter of Amphoreus' fate.
So, let's set out. We will be the ones to start everything. Carry the primordial chaos, just as your name suggests, and bear this world we hold so dear long, Khaslana?
As the Theros I have observed, destruction synthesis is formed.
I will wait for that day, for as long as it takes. The day will come, turns over this mortal eternal, and follows in our footprint, right in than there ever was. That will be a romantic story like none that has come before. You think so too, right?
The world is collapsing, and the people are crying. We too must part ways here. Friend. Ides Elysiae, the little village of my childhood. The gentle breeze and the sound of waves still linger. Everything is as it was. It feels good to take one last look. You know, this is just a corner of the memory. The real Ides Elysiae. I know. I'm here to say goodbye. We might not see each other again. You can stay here forever. And time will stand still for you. Let it flow. It's time for me to go. Even if it's a path with no turning back. When have we ever had the luxury of turning back? Are you afraid? After learning the truth of your origins? Will you see the motivation I gave you as the manipulating whispers of destruction? The convictions and choices that come from my heart. I don't believe they're designed by the so-called paths. If we are just numbers simulating life, then you are the image I've always longed for. The person I wish to become. A real, living person. A true hero. Then why do we part here? You can take me with you, and we can start this journey together. I'll be by your side, guiding you, just like before. No. I'm afraid I'm on my own this time. Why? Because there is no perfect solution in this world. Cyrene has already embraced her fate. And I will embrace my origin. Destruction. And with this power, I will rebel against its creator, bringing endless fury to the darkness sweeping the world. If you stay by my side, I'll hesitate. But this world can't afford a soldier who wavers. Do you remember when we were kids? Everyone would get so excited drawing cards like ruler or warrior, but throw fits over devil or drunkard and demand a redo. Kids always get to change their minds. Things are so happy and simple for them. But when it comes to the fate of adults, there's no room for redos. And go, Khaslana, as you promised. Deceive the world. Seize the Coreflames and rewrite your fate. Burn yourself up with all your might. Wield your futility like a sword. And fight against the gods. In the name of world-bearing, I promise you, Khaslana will never forget this. So, time retreated behind me until it reached the origin, where nothing ever existed. Just as Professor Anaxa once said, in that void, Khaslana stood at the center of chaos. Time, space, and causality all flowed from their body. When the waves of time finally calmed, it was the year 3870 of the light calendar. The Chrysos War had lasted for nearly a century, and the threat of the Black Tide was growing stronger and more relentless. That was the era of the Day Thunder Knight's battle with the sky. While she could not seize the Coreflame, she proved that the prophecy was true. That mortals could slay gods. From that moment, the sole survivor of the old dynasty, Imperator Cerydra, issued a call to arms across the lands, summoning heroic Chrysos heirs to wage war on the Titans. And that was the first doomed flame chaser, sealed away in history.
So what you're saying is, you've traveled back down the River of Time, finally reaching this untouched seabed just to tell us the Flame Chase journey and even all of Amphoreus are nothing but illusions in an eon's dreams?
Exactly. So, Dux Gladiorum, please take me to meet Her Majesty Cerydra. I must share the truth with her.
Since Her Majesty's not here, no need for formalities. The word Gladiorum always reminds me of my fallen homeland buried deep in the depths. Call me Hysilens, Nameless Swordmaster.
Please allow me to add one more thing. You actually already know my name.
You mean Finan? Such a name could never be your true one. But I won't question you further about it. Ever since Her Majesty issued the Flame Chase decree, heroes from all over have sent their letters of introduction. What's the harm in adding one more name like Finan or Pinan? Besides, the deep sea is dark. Isn't it the perfect place to hide secrets best left unseen? All right, Nameless Swordmaster. Hold on to my wake. Let's find somewhere else to talk.
Aren't you even a little suspicious of what I've said?
Harboring suspicions is not my concern. My sword dances only when the Imperator harbors doubts. There's no use in speaking further. Show me your true intentions through action. perhaps you should demonstrate your skills and calm the raging black tide for us.
Light up the dark.
Oh. Nice moves. We just washed it away and here it comes again. The black tide is really no joke. The waters end here. The one you seek is beyond this point.
At last, I can meet with Her Majesty Cerydra herself. Are there any formalities I need to observe?
Don't kneel, don't do the hand-kissing or foot-kissing gestures of the old dynasty, and most of all, don't bow. The Imperator despises such rituals, especially when the heads of those taller than her bend beneath her crown.
She really is down to earth.
The second thing to note, only trusted ones may come near her. Keep 5 paces distance until the Imperator allows otherwise.
Sounds like an old friend of mine.
Well, experience is a good thing. Stay sharp, and you'll be just fine. Duck's Goldweaver, little hostage. Apologies for keeping you waiting.
It's you.
You know them? Good. That makes things easier.
Before that, I'm more curious about one thing. Where is Her Majesty Cerydra?
To avoid any misunderstandings, nameless Swordmaster. Although we spoke and laughed along the way, I never said you were entitled to meet her. The Imperator decreed, the Deliverer will not appear in this age. Be wary of suspicious individuals. Come now, both of you. Let's finish our job.
I see. It's a trap. I had no intention of fighting. So remember this, Lady Hysilens. If my sword shows any hesitation, don't thank me. Thank them instead.
No, you misunderstand. We don't want to see Chrysoceres hurt each other. Just give us some time to ask you a few questions.
The Nestia's golden threads will judge you and decide your fate.
As you wish.
White-haired Swordmaster? If what you say is true, then you must know the fate of the world. So, how much do you know about what we read from the prophecy?
You shall shatter into 1,000 fragments and wither in the soil of foreign lands. Is that correct, Lady Treeby?
How is this possible?
He got it right?
Yes, but the prophecy never mentioned he'd appear here, at least not in this era.
You must listen to me, Aglaya, Treeby. The Finan of this world has not yet been born. In a distant future, he will follow the prophecy's guidance and appear before you. But do not seek him out, because Era Nova is a complete and utter lie. I will tell you the truth, and you will understand why the world must forsake the prophecy and find another path to Era Nova. Because I know both of you, and I believe that no matter how the course of history may change, the faith we all share will always remain the same. And so, the layers of rock began to reverse, and history wove itself anew. Through my old acquaintances, I was given the chance to meet the leader of the Flame Chase journey, Cerydra. And after a long and arduous negotiation, we came to an agreement. The Imperator's alliance needed the destruction, and I was ready to pour all my strength into it. The spoils of the Flame Chase, the Coreflames, would be sealed by my hand. But the condition was this. In the upcoming battle, in our conquest of the Earth, I had to prove that my power could transcend fate. In the original history, there was a brutal war. At the end, the Titankin of Georios, Terravox, killed the rampaging Titan and took the Coreflame that supported the Earth. But this time, Amphoreus encountered a turning point in its fate. Neither side suffered any losses. When I severed the Titan's head and raised the Coreflame high, the crowd gathered around the scorched remains of the god, roaring with joy, cheering for the hero of the destruction, who had ignited the faint spark of life for the first time. Yes, in that flickering light, the once dark path ahead seemed to become clearer. I proved myself, and in the long years that followed, I brought down the other Titans, one by one. I could do more than just wait. When time resets, the chance to change the world also emerges from the lines of history. Until finally, the brutal future revealed by Era Nova is reversed. But tell me, if that's truly the case, why are we doomed to the same outcome? The people kept their promise and handed you all the Coreflames. In this world after Trebios, no demigods were born in Amphoreus. At this point, I just want to know. When they vanished into the black tide with their mortal bodies, Why didn't you shed even a single tear? Your indifference chills me. To you, were they just a bunch of insignificant footnotes? Sorrow has been my constant companion. In fact, with 12 core flames upon me, the fire in my heart has never been more violent. I'll remember this world through anger. As long as I burn, they'll never truly leave me. Perhaps it's already too late. But you're right. Anger, at this moment, is the only weapon I can rely on. So, draw your sword, Executioner. I'll make sure you realize that your greatest mistake was leaving me alive. After that, he raised his sword and attacked. Then, Khaslana killed himself. That day, who fell to the sword to be left in the past, and who went into the future, I can't remember anymore. I only remember a nymph, hiding in the shadows just out of sight, futilely pushing a stone ball. Climb, fall, climb, fall, climb again, and fall. The only freedom the nymph had was in choosing how to roll the stone. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Sometimes resting on a gentler slope, leaning against the stone for a break. But its choice couldn't change the futility of it all. The stone would always roll back down the slope, and the nymph would always return to the starting point, beginning again. After that, every time I reached this point in the cycle, the burning sky would cast a shadow over its path. It would nearly reach the peak at the 4th quint of curtain fall hour, then fall to the starting point in the first 15 seconds of the next entry hour. And my efforts in this cycle would dissolve into nothing at the same time.
Absolute nonsense.
I thought cycles was the answer you were looking for.
No. It's just that the answer came so suddenly. There was no fun in tracing it back to its roots. Eons? Paths? What a load of nonsense.
I can't give you an exact explanation of those two concepts either.
Enough. I'm just expressing my frustration. Don't you understand? I was already expecting this. The black tide came from beyond the sky. And everything else is no exception.
Fate is a strange thing. No matter how the details of history change, the Anaxa I know always remains as harsh as ever.
If the other Anaxagoras actually worshipped the gods, I'd make sure to find a way to break the cycles and crush them in their cradles. Too bad. Now only you have the ability to do that.
What's that supposed to mean? You're willing to help?
Of course. The Coreflames were meant to save the world. And in my opinion, the noble Titans have no reason to refuse. Besides, according to you, before stepping into these endless cycles, you were my pupil.
I've already heard the same thing countless times.
Enough chit-chat. Let's go. If we run into any other scholars, leave them to me. We've all made preparations for total annihilation. Never thought someone would step in to help.
Light up the door. Light up the door.
You've been to the Luminary Throne before, haven't you?
If you're talking about in past cycles.
You're already much luckier than the other students. Hold up. Keep your wits about you. Someone's watching us.
Pretty boy, your eyesight's better than I thought. As for that false god who's been turning the world upside down, it's you, isn't it, white hair?
You sure do love stealing the spotlight. In the name of the Seven Sages, I demand that you immediately step away from the Luminary Throne. This is the sacred ground of reason, and no one may desecrate it. Take my words back to Aglaia. I won't say the same thing twice, cat girl.
Oh my! You won't even call me the demigod of trickery. That is just heartbreaking. I have some words for you, too. First, as one of the most heretical blasphemers in the world, you have no right to lecture me. Second, this is none of your business, Grove Boy. Step aside. I don't want anyone getting hurt.
Here we go. Again.
Coreflame thieves. You really think you can scare off a sage of the grove with nothing but empty threats?
This gloomy little brat's got a sharp tongue. Ooh, not bad, not bad. I kinda like you. As a return favor, please come Cersei's Coreflame right here. Aw, don't cry now.
That was close. I'm out of here.
They're exactly like all the past ones I've known. Cunning. And yet so naive.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Of course. When I first set out on the Flame Chase journey, Lady Treby never managed to teach me Orynyx's miracle. But along the way, I learned a thing or two.